Oh, well.
Good evening, everybody. I'll call to order the regular board meeting of the Board of Library Trustees for Tuesday, July 15th, 2025. Elizabeth, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And Mary Ann, would you call the roll?
Yes. Beechman.
Here.
Ford. Here. Hubbard. Here. Larson. Here. Lowe.
Present.
Russo.
Here.
Fasano here. Well, we're all here tonight.
Thank you, Mary Ann. Number 4 is comments from the audience. Would anyone here or online like to speak to the board tonight? Hearing no one, we'll move on to number 5. Would someone like to make a motion to approve or amend the agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So a motion by trustee Beechman and a second by trustee Lowe. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the agenda is approved. Okay, number 6, the consent agenda for tonight's evening consists of the regular board meeting, minutes for June 17th, 2025, the June 2025 financials, the check register for 2025-06, the treasurer's report for June 2025, and a resolution 20...
No, those are not. It's just the for the minutes and the budget stuff.
Just the first 2?
I don't know what. Yeah, no, all these. This should not be on there, and it's not on my agenda, so I'm not sure what happened. But it's the minutes,
Okay.
and then all the financials.
Okay, so 4 items: the minutes, June financials, check register, and treasurer's report for June.
Excuse me, those are July?
Sorry, July. Yes, it said July.
It does say.
Yeah, so it should be
Daniel,
the
you're
treasurer's report, the check register, cash and investments, and then we've started adding the budget report, the monthly budget report to the consent agenda. All financials are together in the consent agenda. July 15th.
Well, we haven't discussed anything about the budget report. Is there something we need to go over, or?
Well, in my director's report, I talk about, if I can find where that's not it. In my director's report, under number 1, the consent agenda, I explain that I've moved it to the budget report per Don's suggestion or recommendation to the consent agenda, so that all monthly financial reports are going to be listed there from now on. And he's created this new, easier to read budget report that I think he's got the major categories are shaded, and subcategories are bolded without shading. And then he lists on page 5 those major expenses for our budget, which are materials, personnel, and operations. And then July being the first month of our fiscal year, you're going to see some financial variances, which are expected, and we've already received slightly more than half of our 2025 tax revenue. We should be receiving the rest of it probably in October. For our materials, the physical materials expenses appear low, but this is because we resumed ordering in July. We had stopped making orders in early June just to make sure that invoices came in and that we were able to account for the end of fiscal year 25. So now you're going to start to see that area, that budget line increase because we've resumed ordering. And we haven't received the July invoices yet. They'll start to come in August. And then also we have several database subscriptions that get renewed in July and August. For personnel, those expenses are also low. because the accrued expense entries recorded in June were reversed for the new fiscal year. So the beginning of the fiscal year is always a little wacky. This revised format should make it much easier to follow the trends in our budget and identify variances as we go through the new fiscal year. Do you want us to bring the budget up on the screen? We could.
The certificates of deposit for the cash investments, I just didn't understand.
Cash, you're looking at cash and investments, not the budget, right?
I am on cash and investments.
Okay.
And the certificates of deposit, we have that 1,460,000, and I don't understand that. It's at a change from,
Oh, because that is the money we moved from the library fund to special reserves.
okay. Very good, thank you.
So again, would someone like to make a motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda as stated.
Second.
Okay, so a motion by trustee Larson and a second by trustee Hubbard. Any discussion?
Well, it says the library fund, not the special reserve fund. I thought it was a change made.
Let me open it. It said, well, unless I'm looking at something that different from what you're looking at. Certificates of deposit, it says library fund and then it says special reserve fund.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that one, and, oh, Don, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I can help out here. So we get a large influx of funds in June, tax revenue. And so we had this very large balance in the library fund, and I moved part of that money into CDs.
Oh, this is not the transfer to special reserves.
No, this is
Okay,
not the
sorry.
transfer. This is reflecting a large increase in our Fund 10 from tax receipts. And it's just basic portfolio management. We used to keep everything in a money market fund, which is just kind of a passive, whatever happens, happens. And we're instead trying to ladder out our maturities at different lengths so that we try and mitigate rate change risk.
Okay.
So you don't think we need more money in certificates of deposits or less money, or is that gonna, how is that gonna change? With the revision?
I think that's that for now. I do have a 40-year history of portfolio management, and so I feel comfortable with where we're at now. Nobody knows if rates are going to go up or down. It's kind of crazy, and it's very unpredictable. But when we get in September and October, we'll get the rest of our tax funds for the year, not quite half, and so we will probably lay quite a bit of that money out as well.
Okay.
And we're in pretty good shape, and some of that probably might be special reserve fund as well as library fund, because we do know what our expenses are going to be on the roof. And those came in pretty favorable.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Then we have a motion and a second. Mary Ann, would you call the roll?
Yes, Schmidt,
Aye.
Ford,
Aye.
Hubbard,
Aye.
Larson,
Aye.
Lowe,
Aye.
Russo,
Aye.
Casano, aye.
And it is approved. And I've lost our agenda. So moving on to number 7, new business ordinance
The first two are
2026-002. Thank you.
So this is the ordinance that goes with our policy on service to non-residents. And since our cow meeting, I received a memo from Roger Ritzman with a new amendment to the law, which is a little confusing because basically what that amendment, and I included his memo in there. Basically what it's saying is that the board can decide if those fees that non-residents pay, if they can pay it annually. Right now, they pay it annually. But the board can decide and state it in their policy if it's okay with the board that they are paid biannually, twice a year, or quarterly. Or I laid out all the options that you have. So it's annually, which is what we do now, annually or biannually, half due at issue, half due 6 months later, annual or quarterly, quarter due at issue, remaining quarters due every 3 months, or they have the option of one of all three. We get very few, how many did I
5
say?
or
We
6.
about average of 4 to 5
Yeah.
non-resident applications for cards a year on average. So it's not a large amount of people. I think that it would be a nice thing for these card application, these folks who are applying for cards, if they have that option of breaking up the payment in case it is, I don't know what those payments are.
Is it gonna be difficult to track? who's
Well, we'd have to
doing what?
figure that out.
Okay.
And you don't have to, I'm sorry, we're in second. The board has the authority to say, no, we're gonna stay with annual, but we have to put it in our policy what that fee schedule would be. Yes, Stephanie?
We have done the option of all three in the past. It's very rarely utilized, but it is useful for people who are working at Fermilab for a specific amount of time, since they are in our library district. So I just figured I would mention that.
That's good to know. And so you have been able to track.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, this addresses Fermilab, though.
I didn't want to like create extra work that then,
Yeah.
As long as
Mutual
yours-
understanding.
It doesn't discuss the how you could make the payment. It just says whether or not you are required to pay a fee. Yes?
Well,
Sharon?
no, number 7, it says they're considered eligible non-residents.
Yeah, but this is talking about, if they have to pay a fee, can they pay it annually, biannually, or quarterly?
I understand, but they're considered eligible non-residents where they don't have to pay a fee. It says Fermilab National Accelerator Laboratory, by mutual understanding, the commonality of community interest and consideration of the historic relationship.
Yeah, there's also an area though that addresses, I just saw it. There was a section in here that did talk about, so it's on, I don't know what page it's on, but it is under the schedule of fees, non-resident renters.
Yes.
Residents of Fermi National Accelerator Laboratory are subject to this fee. So I think it just depends on, Fermilab is a little more complicated in terms of who the fee applies to and who it doesn't. Am I correct in that, Stephanie? I mean, that's what it looks like to me.
It's under letter E.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just looking this over again because I know in previous years it lays out who's eligible for a non-resident library card, and then it lays out who is exempt from paying the fee. So the Fermilab residents are eligible for the card, they do have to pay a fee, but the ones who don't have to pay the fee are the non-resident students, non-resident minor children.
Oh, if they're affiliated with Fermilab.
Even if they're not
Okay.
affiliated. So Fermilab does have to pay, but if they fall into one of those categories that doesn't have to pay,
Then it's waived.
yeah.
I think regardless, it makes it more accessible for people who may not have all the money at once. I don't know how much it is, but I
And it
imagine,
depends on, each situation is different.
so I imagine that there are people who are in a situation that they don't have all the cash on hand, but they don't meet the criteria for being low income. I think it serves the public better and just makes it easier.
I agree.
Sure.
I feel like we could track it in in workflows right on their library account.
Sure.
So if the board goes in that direction, it wouldn't be a problem.
I'm all for making it easier.
Do we need to vote on that? Or just
Well, your
come to
vote-
consensus about?
We just need to, if you look at the policy that is in your packet, I highlighted where we would
Yeah.
put that information. So I think you just want to verify that the wording is how you want it to be. I basically took it from his memo.
Yep.
And that would cover it. So what you're voting, or what you're deciding on is how you want to make this option. Do you want it? And I just put all three there because you can let the patron decide.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There are a couple of things on the policy from 2024, 2025 that have changed. The whole policy on borrowing privileges, that section, which, okay, this is something I wanted to discuss, that we need the past policies to be able to compare to the current policies. And both Danielle and Joe were great in getting me copies of the old policy. I wanted to see what was in the archives.
What
that's when I
changed? Because
understand
the only thing I know I physically changed were those rates.
Well, I mean, I've got the two
Uh-huh.
in comparison, and this
Which-
policy on borrowing privileges, which we don't need it, it really need to be removed, which I agree with, but I just think we need to be able to see apples to apples
Okay.
and highlighted the things that are being changed to where,
I'm
and
still
this is
not
one of the
following
top
what was-
jobs of a trustee. is
Right.
changes the policy and also writing the policy. So this is very important, that we need to be able to see what,
Sure.
before and after. So, I mean, I can show you, that's the first page, but it's this paragraph. That's not in the current one.
Huh.
Want me to pass it on?
No, because there's other things too. I mean, I can give you the final product, but also, the population, for some reason, that changed as well. And maybe Don can answer that.
Well, we went by the 2020 census.
Yeah. It
which is
changed from
what we have to do for
2024,
IPLR.
the 2024 to this one.
Yeah, well,
It shouldn't have changed. If we're basing off the 2020 census, it should be the same amount.
well, I'm not sure that we based it on the 2020 census last year. This year, we made sure we did.
Oh, okay. And that makes sense.
I mean, I've seen so many different population numbers for Batavia, and so, but the only one that is official is the 2020 census, and I think that's why that difference exists.
Okay, also, I would like to see the formula on the old one. It has the formula under, it's on the last page under I,
Uh-huh.
but I don't see that on the new one. Where
The
it
formula
says
for,
divided by 26,000.
it's on there for the new one.
Oh, it's not showing on mine.
Yeah, it is.
Or it did.
It says,
Scroll down.
it's, so there, it'll say, it says 5,339,654 is the total income from local property tax sources, and then it says the formula results in the following fee per household. And it's that 5 million amount divided by
Does yours show
26,098,
Mhm.
which equals $204.60
Okay. Mine doesn't.
times 2.66 equals
Yeah, it's just the need to be refreshed.
$544.
When you look at the PDF versus looking at it through Diligent, it visibly looks different and you can't see some of the characters.
Oh,
But he's saying it is on there. Okay,
Mhm.
that's good.
Like yeah,
so, but that first
the
part,
functions in the equation. don't
Okay, I
change.
can show you that.
thank you, because I don't know what that is.
So if you're gonna put the note about changing when they can pay, do you already gonna add that to every paragraph that talks about a rate, or do you wanna move that to a
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Sorry, you've got the fees paid by persons residing outside the district may be paid annually, biannually, and quarterly. But you only have that in the one section, does that need to go in every section that talks
Well,
about
a lot of
dollars?
those are talk about how the fee is waived, but the only place where, I thought maybe we should also put it when we talk about renters.
If you just move it up to the
Up.
13 and just say, you know,
Their
schedule for
schedule of
fees is below,
Yeah,
the fees may be
I can do
paid,
that.
and then you don't have to worry about.
Yeah.
What he said.
Also, if we're redoing the website, if you go to Geneva's website, I mean, I wasn't able to find this policy on our Batavia Public Library website.
Okay.
But Geneva has one on their website that makes it so easy to understand. I mean, ours is, we all agree, it needs to be redone.
Yeah.
And theirs is under get a library card, and it has 7 tabs, and it's just so easy.
Yeah, we need to completely
Okay,
rewrite this,
okay.
and that is definitely agreed.
Okay.
And we will make sure that happens for
Okay.
fiscal year 27.
Can I ask a
It's a
question?
very complicated
Yeah.
document.
May I ask a question
Sure.
about
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
If part of Ferry Lab is in DuPage County, does that mean that the residents there are able to use other library systems?
If they have a library card, yeah, I mean, anybody with a library card can use it at other libraries.
So they
for
don't
price
have to
one.
necessarily come to Batavia, they can
No.
go to
Yeah.
another library as well?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, it's by the closest library to where they live, correct? That they have to,
That's one of the exemptions, isn't it? Because you could be in the library district that is further away from the closest library. So for example, there are people who live close to the North Aurora Library who are in Batavia Library District. That's their closest library, but they're members of this library. But I imagine they can get an exemption to get a library card for that one because it's closer to their house.
And we say it in policy on service to non-residents, number 7. I don't know if this is going to address this, but it says that the residents of Fermilab, of that portion of Fermilab residents that lies within DuPage County are considered eligible non-residents.
Oh, that's specifically.
I don't know.
But to go back with what we were talking about before, it seems like we're in agreement that we're all okay with the 3 different ways to pay.
Yeah. I think so.
I know, we started that conversation, but I don't think we came to, then we went
Yeah.
to a different conversation. So I just wanted to circle back to that and make sure, before we start making motions or anything, that we are all in agreement that the 3 ways of paying are okay.
I agree.
Everyone, we do have agreement?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
But that's the importance of being able to have the 2 policies, get it to us in 48 hours or 24 hours before the meeting, to where we can thoroughly research and
Okay.
a good discussion, hopefully in our CAL meeting, before we get a final product like this that we have to accept the board meeting.
And we don't have to accept it, we need to discuss it until we're satisfied with it.
I think we're in a time crunch because we have to get this.
Well, it does apply to, I mean, it's retroactive to July 1st. It's for fiscal year 26.
Should we approve each of these ordinances individually?
Yes, they're listed separately, so, and they're not in the consent agenda.
And do we need, I'm diligent. Do we need this signing sheet?
I'm not sure I follow what
I
you're
don't know what I'm getting, but I'm diligent. I see when I click on that ordinance 2026, I get a signing sheet.
So I think what's going on is you're not logged
There's an
in.
Yeah,
easier
that's why
way
you
to
guys
do
click on the
that.
picture in the upper right.
Because this is what I did last meeting.
I was not logged into Diligent, I was just giving the public version, so you can't see.
Oh, yeah, you're gonna wanna log in because your access as a member is different from public access.
I didn't realize that till after the meeting last week. I'm like, I don't know why everybody sees different things.
And
now I know,
Diligent
yeah.
way. Okay.
So-
That helps, thank you. I want to make sure I signed in. I thought I was signed in. It's very deceptive. and
Yeah.
I'm not that savvy.
And actually, I kind of like the way this looks better than this does, but the nice thing about this is it tracks it as you go, so.
So for ordinance 2026-002, non-residents, we need a motion
So
to.
wait, so we're doing the policy and the ordinance
You're,
separate?
yes, well, you're approving ordinance 2026 that is adopting the policy on service to non-residents.
So I move that we approve the ordinance to adopt the policy on service to non-residents as amended this evening.
I second.
So a motion by trustee Larson and a second by trustee Fasano. Any discussion? And do we need a roll call?
No.
Okay, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? So that is approved. Moving on. Ordinance 2026-003.
Do we not have to do the policy or? So
It
comes with it?
It comes,
Okay.
yeah, it's together.
And this is an ordinance specifying the library board's regular meeting schedule for 2025-26.
Yeah, so nothing has changed from what was presented at the COW. Those dates that were decided back in May, we just need to do a formal ordinance stating that the schedule has been set. And then I send this to Rails and, a few different organizations, so they have a list of our.
I move that we approve ordinance 2026-003, approving our meeting schedule for 25-26.
Second.
So a motion by trustee Lowe and a second by trustee Hubbard. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
And opposed? And that ordinance is approved. Moving on, the IPLAR report for fiscal year 2025.
A little bit of light reading.
Yeah.
Sounds squeamish.
So first off, I want to say a big, huge thank you to Megan and all of the staff who helped put the information into this very challenging form. It is no.
What did you really do?
It is no small feat, so much thanks. It made my life much easier, and I appreciate the help. So every year, as you know, we are required to submit this Illinois Public Library annual report to the state library. And the report provides statistical and narrative information about the library operations from the previous fiscal year. So we were so all of this data is from fiscal year 25 that ended June 30th of 2025. And it looks at our service population and governance, library statistics, collections, our staffing, financial information, facilities and technology, and then narrative descriptions of activities, projects, and partnerships. So they use this information to document our compliance with Illinois library standards and statutes. It provides statewide public library statistics and benchmarking tools, and it meets the federal reporting requirements to the Institute of Museum and Library Services, IMLS. So it is due September 1st. The only thing remaining is to finish the secretary's audit, which is an audit of minutes of the fiscal year 25, and Marianne and Elizabeth are going to do that. It should not take more than 5 minutes. And once that is completed, then I can submit the form. This is not something that the board needs to approve because this is just data that we are providing, but I do like to share it with the board before we submit it so that you have a chance to see it and what kind of data they're asking for, etc. And I know it's really difficult to navigate the form, and it never changes in terms of how it's presented, but sometimes they do change and tweak the questions or the information they're looking for.
I don't think it's a big deal, but I'm not listed, and I know that I
This
won't
was
be
the
there for
previous
like a month.
I thought about that, but I listed Jennifer because she was on the board for most.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you needed to list both.
I never have in the past.
Okay, that's fine.
So, you'll be on fiscal year 20.
I'm not worried about it,
They know where you are.
and I'm not responsible now, so. At least for this one.
Any other questions about IPLAR? It is a tremendous amount of data, and it's impressive to look through, but it is a little overwhelming.
It's all blue.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. Number 8, the President's Report. Does anyone on the board have anything to share?
I'm not thanking anybody tonight.
Okay. Then just 2 things that I'd like to mention. The first is library card sign-up month is September, and we're approaching September. The theme for this year's library card month is One Card, Endless Possibilities. And one of the things that I like to always mention to people is that once you have a library card, you can use it at virtually any library in the state. So it's tremendously powerful. And another thing I like to mention is interlibrary loan. Some we can do online in the catalog ourselves, and some we need to get assistance from a librarian. But you can get virtually any book that you're interested in. And for people who have a specialty interest, that's really an amazing feature. And then the last I would just mention is that with that library card, you also have access to a whole array of electronic sources. Books that are electronic, videos, databases. It's really incredible what you can do with your library. So Library Card Month is a great time to sign up. And then I also want to mention on September 2nd, we'll be honoring this year's library leaders at 6 p.m. And that's Ken and Terry Mate for their interest and support of Inclusion Night. So that would be a nice event to stop by as well.
And we have an email invite that we'll be sending to all the board members and to other people this week.
Great.
I hate to, if you're through,
I am?
I should have said it earlier and I couldn't find it, but I've got these Know Your Rights if you encounter ICE, and I've got it in English and in Spanish. Do we offer that?
Do we?
You can have it.
You mean post these types of things? I don't know if we have them up, but I've done that at other
If you can make copies of them
libraries.
and have them available if people
Yeah,
need to see
I think
it.
that's a great idea.
Okay, moving on. Number 9, Directors and Librarians Reports.
Okay, so we've gone through the first part of my report already. So now the roof replacement project, Kathy and I were supposed to meet with UTC and All-American Roofing today, but Dale with All-American Roof had major flooding in his basement, so we had to reschedule it. So we're going to be meeting on August 28th.
It wasn't
And
caused
that
by a
is-
roof leak, was it?
Excuse me?
I said it wasn't caused by a roof leak.
No. So we'll be having our pre-construction meeting on the 28th of August. As far as I know, we are still scheduled to start on September 8th. I don't think his flood will impact the start date. Renovation project update. So we did meet with the architects, what is today? Yesterday. We got to see some preliminary renderings, which was really cool. But they're still working on them and tweaking them because they will be presenting to you at the regular board meeting on September 16th. So they'll have floor plans and renderings and pricing information at the September 16th meeting. And they did think that our construction or the actual project could start as early as August, so in a year would most likely be when it starts, assuming that all goes well in the next few months. Let's see, so we had our staff development day on August 15th. We were closed for the whole day, and we divided staff up into 6 groups, and each group went to 2, one group went to 3 libraries on that day. We visited Addison Public Library, Elmhurst, Helen Plum, which is in Lombard,
Lombard, yeah.
Downers Grove, Glen Ellen, Wheaton, Glenside, which is in Glendale Heights, Carroll Stream, Gale Borden, which has 2 branches, that's why that group had to see 3 libraries. And then we went to Arlington Heights and Mount Prospect. So each group they went to 1 in the morning. We had guided tours, some by library directors, some by staff, deputy directors, heads of departments. But they had guided tours of the public and the staff spaces. One library in particular, Addison, is going through a renovation right now, and they are using product architecture and design. So I think it was really beneficial for that group to see the process, because their project's like in several phases, so they're in like their 2nd phase, and they were able to see how the library is pivoting during a renovation and providing services, continuing to provide services while things are under construction. Many of the libraries we visited, not all, but many of them have worked with product architecture, so that was also nice to be able to get some feedback. Well, at least I asked, I'm not sure if anyone else did, but I asked, how did that go? And they loved working with both Tiffany and Dan, which I'm not surprised because they're delightful. So anyway, it was a really good day. It was a very long day. Everyone was tired. And then we regrouped back here at the library around 3:15, and Tiffany and Dan spoke with the staff for an hour. And mostly it was the staff giving a lot of feedback of what they saw, what they liked, what they would love to see in our renovation. And Tiffany and Dan, were taking notes and getting feedback from the staff. It was a good day.
Is there any way we can get copies of that, what they liked, and what libraries, to where we can go look?
Well, I didn't take any notes, but the architects did. I could ask them if they can provide that.
I just hate to get too
They did it on their
far
phone, so I'm assuming they're gonna type it up.
I just hate to get too far into the project, and then if there's something one department is really set on, and we go, we can afford it, or whatever. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and
Well, that's what I'm for, because I'm the spokesperson for the staff. And, I would not push something or take something away without talking it over with the staff first.
Which of these libraries most impressed you?
Well, I saw Glenside and Carroll Stream.
Oh,
and
that's
they-
right, you only,
Yeah.
each group only.
But I
got
heard,
you. Okay.
I got a really positive feedback about, I think it was Helen Plum. What was there was another one everybody really loved.
I like Glen Ellen.
Glen Ellen, they really liked. Of the 2 that my group went to see, I really liked Carroll Stream. I liked Glenside a lot, but I really liked Carroll Stream. It was just, it was very open, and they had so many opportunities to display materials face out, so that it was really browsable. They had a waterfall window in between this like quiet reading room and their adult area, and it was $30,000. But it was lovely. It was $30,000, but it was lovely. It really was. It was just so calming, and because they didn't have a fireplace, they had a waterfall. Everybody's got their
Okay.
And they had a really nice outdoor space too. I can't remember if Glenside did. No, yeah, I think they did. So that's a trend you're going to see more of too, I think, with public libraries, is outdoor space that is designated for programming or for just patrons to be able to hang out. I mean, Geneva has a lot of it at their library, and we do want to use more of the reading garden, but we have to be conscious of the fact that kids could run in any direction, you know, I mean, we have to have a contained space. So that's something that the architects are working on, kind of a plan for how we could have
How that happens.
a space that the youth department would primarily use.
It's interesting that you would say that. Did any of you go to Arlington Heights? Okay, did you happen to see the natural space outside as you walked into the library, all the natural plants? My daughter just sent me a picture of that, and I just thought that was so beautiful, and what a great way to, it's at the entrance, correct?
Yeah, I mean, that's an amazing library. I think what was nice about that tour was looking at, you know, what is like scalable versions of what they had to offer
Yeah,
for here.
because their makerspace is a separate building.
Yeah.
Wow.
They took their original library building is now, the whole thing that was the library is now makerspace. I mean, they're on a little bit of a different level. They have a much bigger population, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Bigger staff, everything.
Four times as many employees,
Yeah.
over 200.
But we did get a lot of things out of, you know, okay, looking at what they offered and things like some of the beauty of the space too, and thinking about how we could take pieces of it and apply it here for what would work with our space and our community.
Yeah. We purposely didn't want to only go to libraries that were exactly the same size and population as ours, because no idea is too big or too small. It's really about ideas and inspiration, and
Adaptation to your space.
right. Like, how could we do a version of this, or, you know, how could we work towards this, you know, or something. So, but I think it was really good because not everybody had, you know, some of our staff, you know, live in Batavia, and this is the library that they use, and so it's really good to expose them to
Others.
other
Yeah.
libraries and how they do things differently. And there's a lot of, I mean, there's a lot of similarities, but there are a lot of differences across the board, not just in the public, but also with the staff, you know, how they are divided by departments. One of the libraries, I think it was Glenside, they don't have a youth and an adult department. It's all under one umbrella of public service or something, I forget what they call it, but, and so they have people who do youth and people who would do adult and teen, but they're under the same department. So everybody does it slightly differently. So it's just interesting. I don't think we'll be doing that here, just so, but it works for them. Okay, so that was Staff Development Day, excuse me, and then just want to remind everyone about the special board meeting on the 16th at 5:30 p.m. with Alex Todd. He's going to do a 1-hour presentation or training session with all of you about library renovations. He completed one at Prospect Heights about maybe 5 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. So he has a lot of good experience to share with you, and he'll talk also about the role of the director and the staff, the role of the board, and you know what to expect in the next 2 years for our renovation project.
Are we getting hard hats?
Not at that meeting. And then immediately following that is the special meeting, the B&A public hearing. That should take no more than 10 minutes, probably less. And then the regular board meeting will immediately follow at 6:40. And after the necessary board business, meaning the consent agenda and approving our B&A ordinance that we're required to do, it'll go right over to Tiffany and Dan, who will have they'll be doing a presentation using the projector and everything for the board about our renovation project. And also at that meeting, I think because, just in the interest of time, I don't think we'll have youth and adult do their reports. I will just do a summary of it, of what they would normally do in the director's report, just in the interest of time. Because I want to make sure the architects have plenty of time.
Joe, can you remind me who Alex Todd is with?
He is the director of Prospect Heights Library, but he also has a consulting company called Dieters and Todd.
Okay.
And they do training for library boards and library professionals.
They also do searches for library directors.
Yeah, they now,
That's where
they
we
also
would
do
come from.
director
Yeah, that's
searches.
right.
They're kind of new to that. I think it's only been a couple of years, but they do also do that. They've placed a few directors already, and I don't remember what libraries.
We interviewed them.
Yeah, that was the other, yeah.
Let's see. The per capita grant, we already talked about that. Oh, we did receive our per capita grant for, it's the fiscal year 24. It's so complicated, but we received our per capita grant award letter for the last year's application, which was actually for fiscal year 24, not fiscal year 25. I'm sorry about that. No, I'm sorry, the fiscal, yes, back up. The year before that, we got $38,727.60. The most recent award that we received was that amount. The year before, we received a little bit more, but not a huge change, but the rate, the per capita rate changed slightly, so it's not the exact same amount. And next year, or for fiscal year 25, who knows? No, I'm sorry, it is, the IPLAR is for fiscal year 25, the application is for fiscal year 26. It's very, yes, it's all, it's.
They like to make it nice and simple.
And then when you do the report for a previous year, it's like 2 years before, so there's like 3 different fiscal years that you're working with, very confusing. The succession plan, no changes, no major changes to it, but we have had some title changes, so I wanted to make sure those were updated. And we also had some board member changes. So all I did was what's listed here. Changed Stephanie's, because she's listed, if Liesel's hit by a beer truck, Megan's next in line, Megan's hit by a beer truck, Stephanie's next in line. But I wanted to have the correct titles, and then I also adjusted the offices for our board members who are listed. And a copy of that is in diligent thing.
Where's the beer truck?
I don't know, it's coming for me, I can feel it. August staff updates. We have a new 14-week temporary position in youth services to cover when Allison is on her maternity leave, which unless she goes into labor early is scheduled to start September 1st. And Margot Burkhardt, who has worked she's worked at Naperville, Geneva, and West Chicago, I believe. So she has lots of experience. She's a lovely woman, and she will be helping out full-time, temporarily in youth services. Mary Scott, in our circulation department, retired after 16 years of service. Kristen Streepy, also in the circulation department, applied and was promoted to Mary Scott's old position. So she's now a circulation specialist full-time. Kathy Bonnet completed 7 years of service. Sarah May, 15 years, and she was recognized when you do that every 5-year achievement. So she was recognized at Staff Development Day, and she gets some doodads and a certificate, and for 15 years of service, she will get $150. So every 5 years, they get an additional $50 as a recognition of their years of service. And Bethany Portala Dean has completed 4 years of service in the circulation department. She's one of our pages. So in terms of donations, I wanted to kind of do a summary of fiscal year 25. And as well as what happened between January and July. So we've had 2 donations to our community foundation, a Fox River Valley account. Rita Fairborn, she's been making monthly donations of $20 since April. So, and I think now she's done $80 altogether so far. And then Constant Niles made a $400 donation directly to the foundation. So the total donations in fiscal year 25 to the foundation was, that was 11,600, oh, sorry, that's a huge typo. 11,000, I think it's 11,686 and 60, or 20, I don't know. But it's over $11,000. I just noticed there's an extra number in there. Sorry about that. So the current balance, actually the current balance is higher than this now because I just went and looked again because we had some donations that came in since then, but it's over 122,000. Now total donations made in fiscal year 25 directly to the library, not through the foundation, was $4,825.81. And those are often like book donations, you know, they buy a book in honor of someone or in memory of someone. Our upcoming board meetings, I've already gone over all of that with you. We do have the CAL meeting on September 4th, and then our special and regular meeting on the 16th. And that's what I have. Let's see, really quickly, I have that. So we've got our July stats. Since we don't have a lot, it's only the first month of the fiscal year, but if you look at circulation, and you can increase the size of this by hitting that plus sign, because I had to do that like 3 times in order to be able to read it. So, but we've gone up, excuse me, this month of 2025 compared to July of 2024, our circulation rates, excuse me, have gone up, both in physical items and in e-resources. And our reciprocal borrowing went up quite a bit with Geneva. And Aurora went down a little with Messenger, and then thank you very much, and then up again with St. Charles. So that's good to see. And then our visits from this year to this month last year, July 2024, has also increased by 2%. And what else? Our database sessions are down, not sure why, but they are down compared to last year this time. But our social media, our PR and marketing through social media and our website, all of that has gone up from where it was in July. And you know, like even TikTok, as I've mentioned before, we're not actively using it, and yet we still get more people following us on TikTok. So that's all gone up from this time last year.
Do we know why there was such a big drop in meeting rooms?
No.
Reservation of attendance?
We don't. I mean, because that's just whoever want, you know,
Right, I
those
mean,
are
it just seemed
outside
odd that it
groups
dropped down
wanting to
that
use
much.
the, I mean, our regulars are still using it, but we haven't had any like new or unique requests apparently that
Yeah, I
in
think
July.
we're doing more programming so that you have rooms not available for
That could be.
outside groups. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, anyway. And then strategic plan, so we're doing this quarterly now, and there is a spreadsheet here that Stephanie, our Excel guru, created, thank you Stephanie, where we can list the different goals and objectives to those goals that we created in the strategic plan, and then it lists what department, you know, achieved that goal and the tasks they did to achieve it. So we've touched all 3 of our big goals of providing excellent user experiences, engaging our community, and nurturing a positive and collaborative culture. And it is across departments, from facilities, youth services, admin, IT, circulation, tech services. It's all, I mean, and some of these goals were a collaborative effort between departments, but unfortunately Excel doesn't let us do that when we select. So we try to mention it in the tasks when there are other departments involved. So we've been busy. A lot of our second goal, provide excellent user experiences, is really focused on a lot of it I think will come out in our renovation project, because so much of what our renovation is about is
User experience.
yeah, is enhancing an excellent user experience for visitors to the library. So I won't go through all of these in detail.
No, that's okay.
Okay, but so
it is helpful to have all of them together like
Yeah.
that, because some of them we're aware of and some we're not.
Yeah.
So that, and the quarterly seems to be working nicely.
Mhm. I know it's working for us as well, for the
Good.
staff to compile this, so. Anyway, and that's all I have, so now we can turn it over to, youth. Lisa.
I'll try to keep it short and sweet. I got a little ahead of myself. I was so excited that summer had wound down, and I was writing this in early August that I reported on summer reading, even though we normally do that with our August board report. So you'll see from my report that we actually had an 11% increase in registration this year, which is a very good thing. That's exciting, and about a 5% increase in the completion rate of the program. Not really sure why. We did what we always do. We were out in the schools heavily promoting. Again, kudos, as I mentioned last month, to Amy Marks, who did a beautiful job with our summer reading challenge promo video, as she always does, and just tirelessly promoting to our both our public schools and our parochial schools. But we will take the increase. So also want to give a huge thank you to our local businesses who were incredibly generous in donating coupons or prizes to our participants, and also recognize our junior volunteers who are our 6th, 7th, and 8th graders for their help. They counted and packed so many coupons and prizes and did it all very cheerfully. So we couldn't have had a successful program without them. We continued to offer quite a variety of programs over the summer. You see some highlights there from some drop-in story times, sensory playtime, which is always a popular one. We offered a toddler art program and also an alphabet party where we had some preschoolers working on alphabet skills through a variety of hands-on activities. We keep trying to offer a variety of elementary and middle school programs. It was a little bit of a challenge for us this summer, especially getting some middle schoolers in. But we did find some success with Gingerbread House Battle Beach House Edition. So you can see some very, very cute gingerbread beach houses there in your board report, and we had some pretty creative endeavors. We also partnered with the University of Illinois Extension Office to offer a couple of STEAM-themed programs in July. We did a DNA bracelet with them, and also worked on little mini wind turbines. So that was fun and something a little bit different as well. As you might recall, our summer reading program this summer had a gaming theme. It was Level Up at Your Library, so naturally we had to have some complimentary programs around that. So we offered a sensory program for the older kiddos last month, Pokemon Playground, and again, Mary Podrasky's creative mind there. They got very messy and had a lot of fun, just as much fun as the little kids. And then also a shout out to librarian Amy Marks for Minecraft in real life. Minecraft continues to be amazingly popular. I keep thinking that, you know, it's going to sunset itself, but no, still very popular, and she had a lot of fun creating all kinds of activities centered around that. And as you can see from the pictures, everyone had quite a bit of fun. The one program that we continue to have success with middle school students is If You Feed Them, They Will Come. So we had a brand name versus knockoff taste test, and lest you be wondering, well, what does this have to do with library programs? We are keeping some stacks and comparing and contrasting, so we're using some skills, albeit in a fun manner. And no surprise, you couldn't fool them with the generic knockoff products. We also do a lot of all ages and family programs over the summer. Want to thank the Batavia Park District, who permits us to use Engstrom Park for a monthly summer craft, and also for allowing us to use Big Woods Park for bingo once a month at no charge. We really enjoy connecting with families and kiddos outside of the library, and I think it's a really important message to be out in the community and bringing programs to folks outside of our own four walls. We also offered a bilingual story time, which was well attended, and that was headed up by Language Labs. They did a lovely job, so we're hoping to do something like that once in a while throughout the school year. And very excited about our Tails and Tea program. This was actually, I have to give credit where credit is due, Misty Jump's idea from Adult and Teen Services. She said, I have this great idea for a tea, and I think we should do it with seniors and with kids. And so I have not a crafty or decorative bone in my body. So she made everything look very pretty and fun, and you will see pictures in both my report and Megan's from the events. We had Friends of the Library volunteer Sue Campbell come, and she has been dying to be Mother Goose at a program to be named later, and so I said, let's do it. So she came dressed as Mother Goose, and we were able to bring both groups together because so many of our adults know those rhymes probably better than the kids do. And she has worked with Anderson Animal Shelter in the past, and so she was able to bring Lucy, a Canada Goose, to the program and really bring some extra things to the program, and it was just a lot of fun. We had bingo, we had stories, and like I said, Misty did a lovely job with the decorations and a photo booth. This year we also participated in Windmill City Fest on Sunday, which was Family Day. We had 449 people that we actually talked to about the library and our services, and big shout out to the staff. As Elizabeth is reminding me, boy was it hot, and they were so cheerful. We had lawn games, gave away all kinds of giveaway items, and had a lot of positive feedback about the library. So that's something we hope to participate in again next summer.
And we had staff from different departments helping out. We had circulation, youth services, adult and teen services, promotional services. It was a collaborative effort.
It was, and Sue Campbell was at that event too. And last but not least, we had a camping theme for dramatic play this month, and we thought we'd kick it up a notch and actually have a tent, and you can imagine the delight of the small children and the larger children that there was a tent and youth services, so that was a lot of fun. And then just some varied gaming themes and a really fun I Spy. It's amazing what you don't notice in your environment when you just see it day to day, and kudos to our Youth Services Associate Melissa, who came up with the great idea of let's do an I Spy in the Youth Services Department and see if they can find some of these items that they see every day but they don't see. And it was challenging, and we received more than one positive compliment from a parent saying, we love this. They had to slow down and really think about it. It was great. So hopefully we can think of some other clever things to do like that in the future. Any questions?
That's great.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Now Megan.
So I'm glad to hear that Lisa and I were on the same page about summer reading. I figured by the time September's meeting rolled around, not only are we going to be a full meeting that time, but I also figured no one would remember summer reading. So I put our numbers in here as well, even though it technically finished in August. It went very well for us this year. Our registration was up 67% from last year, and active readers was up 42% from last year. I actually looked back 2 years ago because when I arrived, we started with some small but mighty numbers for summer reading, so it's been a big push. And actually, in the last 2 summers, we have grown participation by 180% in adult and teen services. So a huge part of that is we have so much gratitude for all of our business partners and the friends for sponsoring and donating things to this program, and also to the staff for really revamping it and being a little more creative and trying to make it a lot easier for participation. So we're really happy to see that paying off. And we've heard a lot of great feedback from everyone who participated as well, that they really liked the style of the program this year. So we're hoping to keep building on that every year going forward. Continuing with reading programs, we also had a special champions round of Tournament of Books. So that was organized by Laura James. It was the 10-year anniversary of this fun program, so we thought not only is it kind of fit with the game theme, but it also happens to be the 10-year anniversary. What perfect timing. So we had our champions round, and we had 288 participants pick Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt as the ultimate winner, which if you haven't read it, I highly recommend it. It's an adorable book, and how many times do you get to have an octopus as a protagonist? So, that was a lot of fun. We also had, our biggest program was Sundays on Stage. We had a local choir, Misty River Music Makers, come, and 87 people came and saw them perform. I was lucky enough to be here that day, and it was a great performance. It was a lot of fun. They did a lot of like barbershop quartet style songs of all different genres. So that was great to have a lot of people here. The rest of the month really fit in line with what I see kind of everywhere, which is in July and August, adults and teens are on vacation. So we also had a lot of just passive programs to really try to, have people come, they check out a lot of books, they do come to the library, but they're kind of on their own time. So it's hard to get people to come to, regularly scheduled things. So we did see a really nice jump in passive program participation. So we had 424 people participate in a passive program in July. So we are happy to keep providing more of those. It seems like people can't get enough. So we just keep growing it, and we're happy to see that the community is responding. And then I did have to put some pictures in. I had a feeling that the Tails and Tea would feature heavily in the youth report as well, because Lisa and Misty really just threw together such an adorable, amazing program that I had to throw some pictures in. One of which is featuring local celebrity Mike Tucci. But they really just did a fantastic job, and it was nice to see that, Lisa and I and both of our departments have really been trying to work to feature more intergenerational, all ages style programming to make sure we're meeting every need of all people in the community. So that was great.
For all Misty's hats, she brought like 50 hats.
Oh my God.
And purses.
Oh my God.
And they were wonderful. She has quite a hat and purse collection.
Wow.
And people loved putting them on, as you can see.
Obviously.
I do like the one girl in particular. I think is really enjoying her hat.
It goes perfectly with her dress.
Yeah, it does.
But yeah, they just really did a fantastic job. So I had a hard time picking just one picture. So you have 5. So.
Thank you, Megan. All right, moving on. Number 10, upcoming meetings. Committee of the Whole on September 4th at 6:30. Then special board meeting on September 16th at 5:30. Another special board meeting on September 16th at 6:30. And the regular board meeting on September 16th at 6:40. So we're to number 11, adjournment. Would someone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I move. Quickly. I move that we adjourn the meeting this evening.
A motion by trustee Hubbard and a
I
second
will
by
second that motion.
trustee Fasano. We don't need to discuss it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And we're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.